Straight ahead on CCX News, a mystery project now on hold, but neighbors aren't convinced. What they believe will be a significant change to their neighborhood. Plus, a Plymouth clothing business where fashion runs in the family.
We're blessed that each of the kids bring a different perspective to the business, which is interesting and very thankful for us.
And later, something you may not know about Hennepin County libraries, how they're evolving with the times. CCX News starts right now.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. As we first told you last week, Brooklyn Park's Project Hotdish is on hold. However, many residents believe that is only temporary. As Eric Nelson reports, they believe it's only a matter of time before their neighborhood will experience a significant change.
The sunsets, the openness, it used to be all fields.
Suburban sprawl has run into a roadblock in Brooklyn Park.
Aren't there other ways to get money?
Project Hotdish is on hiatus until next year. If it's built, Brooklyn Park would be home to a huge fulfillment center, housing an unnamed Fortune 500 company. Many residents believe that is going to be Amazon.
We are not too crazy about it as a neighborhood.
Project Hotdish is a hot-button issue in the neighborhoods surrounding the proposed site at the North Park Business Center.
Well, I would be against it.
The mega facility would be the largest industrial building in the Twin Cities, creating 2,500 jobs. According to city documents, it would put more than 200 trucks and 5,300 vehicles a day on nearby roads, which are already at capacity.
So it's going to be mad. Getting out of here is going to be crazy, and we don't know what else they're going to bring in.
If a person's got to be someplace or get to work, you don't want to have to sit there for 10 minutes or so before you can get out.
If Hotdish does become reality, people are bracing for change. They know the pumpkin patches, farm fields, and geese will vanish, replaced by a 4-story facility.
We like our community. We just don't like to be interrupted by a big corporation that's coming through here.
With new housing developments close to the site, there is also a fear that home values will go down.
Some really nice homes, and if people would move out, there's a lot of homes set there.
The northern border of this project is 109th Avenue, and on one side sits the city of Champlin, which will also be impacted heavily by Project Hotdish. I'm Eric Nelson reporting for CCX News.
A Metro Transit bus passenger is accused of assaulting a driver in Brooklyn Center. Terry James Jr. is charged with 4th-degree assault, a gross misdemeanor. According to Metro Transit Police, the incident happened Saturday around lunchtime. According to the criminal complaint, the suspect followed the bus driver into an employee break room at the Brooklyn Center transit station. The driver told the suspect he wasn't allowed in there. That's when James allegedly punched the driver. The driver was able to activate an alarm and was able to avoid serious injury. The living situation at a Robbinsdale senior facility has returned to normal. That wasn't the case, though, on Saturday when about 24 people had to be evacuated at Copperfield Hill Senior Living. According to the Robbinsdale Fire Department, the evacuation was traced to a dog repellent that was sprayed either inside or outside of the building. Dog repellents have a pungent smell and usually contain ammonia. Some residents were taken to North Memorial Health Hospital with skin and eye irritation. Everyone right now, though, is doing okay. According to the national nonprofit Bailing Out Benji, there are more than 30 puppy mills in Minnesota. 2 women from the Northwest Metro, as well as numerous others, are doing their part to close them down. Every Sunday, Rita Bouchel of Brooklyn Park and Mary Morin of Brooklyn Center head to Blaine to protest a pet store the organization says sell dogs from puppy mills. They hope that by protesting every Sunday, they will remind people that puppy mills still do exist.
I've seen them. I've been to a puppy mill auction. I've saw the puppy mill in person, wire floors in their cages, crowding, incredible matting. They've never seen a groomer. Their teeth are bad, and they're just bred over and over. And I call them greeters. They're not breeders, they're greeters.
For more information about Bailing Out Benji, visit our website, ccxmedia.org. For nearly a decade now, the Foursome in Plymouth has been the go-to spot for quality men's clothing and exceptional service. And counting its prior location in Wayzata, it's been around for many decades before that. So what's the secret to the store's success? Here's Corey Bork.
I'm blessed to have 4 of my children working in the business.
At the Foursome in Plymouth, the focus here isn't just on fine clothing.
It's great to see that they're carrying on that tradition.
It's also on family.
My dad was an amazing entrepreneur in the clothing business, and he built our business.
This family's story started in the 1950s when Ron Engel and his wife Lucille took over a clothing store in Wayzata. That store was passed down a generation.
He was an example for me of what it meant to care about his business, to care about people, and so it was a natural thing for me to be able to do it.
Gordy Engel was an example too. Like a matching tie and dress shirt, his children followed suit.
3 sisters. I actually work with my wife as well here, and you know, I love getting to work with family. I say 99% of it is wonderful.
Just as his dad was for him, Engel is a role model for his kids.
I like working with my dad. We work well together. As in anything, we look at something slightly different sometimes, but at the end of the day, we've got a great relationship.
The Foursome is more than just about the fine threads and the selection. It's also a family store that works on building relationships. And it's a store that's had to rely on its faith. That faith was tested in 2008. At a time the country faced a financial crisis, the Foursome found itself without a home. Their former location had to close for what would become the largest redevelopment project in Wayzata's history.
We had prayed, and God answered the prayer. He said to me, Vicksburg and 55 someplace.
A year later, Plymouth became the store's new home, but in 2016, the family was tested again.
They were going out to Colorado for training, and that's when the accident happened.
Gordy's daughter Catherine and her husband Jameson were training to become Christian missionaries when a semi slammed into the back of their minivan in Nebraska. They and their 3 young children were killed. For such a heartbreaking tragedy that would drag any family down, this one built a family up.
The love of our community and the love of the people that are part of our network has just been overwhelming, and how caring people are.
Then this past month, the unexpected arrived. This time, good news. The Minnesota Retailers Association presented Gordy Engel with a Lifetime Achievement Award for his 49 years in business.
I was just a point guy.
Engel credits the 20 employees he has working with him. Family, a big part of that.
It's a true joy to work with my kids and see how they carry it forward, and I'm very proud of them.
And for him to get recognized for the work he's done in this business for so many years is just awesome.
For Business Matters, Corey Bork, CCX News.
And we would be remiss not to mention Gordy's wife, Nancy, who helps take care of the grandkids while their children work the store. The family is expecting their 16th grandchild by the end of the year. Exciting times, and congratulations. Still ahead, why the library has more to it than you ever imagined. The first part of our series, 21st Century Library, is next. Plus, local girls swimmers race to the finish at the state meet. But first, good news for travelers. No snow in the forecast for Thanksgiving. Libraries have been a part of the United States since well before the United States even existed. But in a time when you can get almost any book delivered to your smartphone, it's natural to wonder how our local libraries are keeping up with the public's needs. CCX News explores that and more in our special 3-part series, 21st Century Library, produced by Brandon Bankston.
In 1922, Hennepin County Library started as a horse-drawn book wagon, later upgraded to a newfangled gas-powered truck. As the suburbs became more populated, the county started building permanent libraries. Fast forward to 2018, and Hennepin County Library boasts 41 locations, which last year saw more than 750,000 checkouts of more than 15 million items.
We are busy. We've got people lined up outside of most of our doors when we're ready to open in the morning.
But staying in demand in a time when any information anyone needs can be downloaded to a smartphone or even a wristwatch didn't come about by accident.
20, 30 years ago we were starting to be in that conversation.
Library planners knew that books weren't the only thing that would bring in the crowds. That's why today's libraries don't just feature stacks of print, but also rooms for more in-person learning.
I've just started to learn about it, as you know, that it's not just the books, but they have other things to offer too.
Genevieve Loberg knows firsthand the kinds of things you can learn at the library. She teaches one of them.
I thought, well, I'm going to go over to the library and look around. And as I walked around, I thought, well, they got these nice big rooms, and I thought it'd be a nice place to have yoga. So I talked to her about it. I says, you know, is there any possibility of using these rooms for yoga?
Genevieve's yoga classes at the Brooklyn Park branch are a hit with her students. Tanya Preble's been coming to the library for decades and was delighted to discover Genevieve's class.
I think it's really good because everybody gets a chance to be exposed to things they might not try otherwise if you didn't have the opportunity to come to the library and try it.
But maybe physicality isn't your thing, and that's all right. The same room transforms on a different night to a workshop for artists. Not learning how to draw, but how to turn their art into a business.
I think it's super beneficial for artists to just, have a place they can come to, at a specific time of day for a number of sessions that they may have an interest in regarding their artistry.
Troy, or King Fu Vai, didn't think about the business aspects of music until he took a workshop. He soon found out there's a lot more to it.
Finding a venue, doing an album release, finding other artists to perform with, collaborating with other artists, working with other artists of different disciplines, be it a graphic designer who's helping you design your CD cover, things of that nature, or flyers that are being made. It's just like various aspects of artistry that I never really knew that I had to take, into consideration.
King Fu Vai learned so much from the workshop that now he teaches it. And for business hopefuls who aren't artistic, the Maple Grove branch has something for them as well.
We started with libraries, I think, about 10 years ago.
Bill Richardson owned a plastics company here in the Twin Cities for 20 years.
If you're going to go and get financial help, we can help you with a plan.
Now that he's retired, he was looking for ways to help up-and-coming business owners navigate the startup minefield. Enter the Service Corps of Retired Executives, SCORE. Bill's one of more than 10,000 volunteers donating their time to teach business to newcomers.
It's always enjoyable to help people. We don't have all the answers, but we have a lot of help. We're a good sounding board for people that have ideas. We have workshops. We have free webinars.
Small business mentoring through SCORE is available at several Hennepin County library branches. And of course, no programming agenda at a library would be complete without book clubs. This meeting at the Rockford Road branch in Crystal and this one in Golden Valley are somewhat unusual for book clubs. There's no wine, and the conversation stays pretty close to actually discussing the books. In fact, we caught up with the Golden Valley Reads Club when they were discussing a book with its author.
That's part of what Golden Valley Reads is we bring together the community to read this book, and then we bring in the author so that she can tell us her inspirations, why she's a writer, or but make that connection for readers to connect the book to the person that created it.
Meetings often go into overtime as passionate readers find no end of things to talk about.
It starts at 6:30, and we're one of the libraries that closes at 8 o'clock, and we usually kind of have to shoo our book club out the door because they're still talking.
And tomorrow we'll have a look at offerings you can find without ever setting foot in a library. Still ahead, the magic of Harry Potter gets some kids in Brooklyn Park excited about exercise. But first, 2 local adapted soccer teams take home some hardware at the state tournament. John Jacobson is in next.
Championships were on the line at the state girls swimming and diving meet. A number of local competitors aim to reach the medal stand. Highlights from the Class AA finals. The 200 freestyle is close. Edina's Claudia Chang pulls away from Armstrong's Sierra Smith to win with a time of 1 minute, 50.38 seconds, 0.2 of a second ahead of Smith. Another battle in the 100 butterfly. Hopkins' Molly Meelan tries to catch Southwest Peyton DeManuel, but Meelan can't quite get there. She settles for runner-up. 100 freestyle, Wayzata senior Jordan McGinty fights off a very good field and takes gold. The featured gopher is also second in the 200 IM race. 500 freestyle, another win for Edina's Chang with a time of 4:54.64. But Armstrong freshman Zoe Bresnahan isn't far behind, and she takes second. In the last race of the night, Wayzata's McGinty anchors her team to 4th place in the 400 freestyle relay. We talked to her after the meet about wrapping up her time as a high school swimmer.
My whole high school career, being a state champ has just been my dream, and I think just seeing it actually come true just was, I don't know, it was just really exciting to see that all my hard work had paid off and that this was finally the time that had come.
As we check the team scores, Lake Conference teams take the top 4 spots in Class AA. Edina is the champion, followed by Minnetonka, Wayzata, and Eden Prairie. Armstrong places 5th. In Class A, Breck is third behind Visitation and Hutchinson. The Mustangs' Yvonne Gia won the 200 IM and 100 butterfly. Caitlin Phelps won the 100 backstroke, and the Breck 200 medley relay team also took first. Benilde St. Margaret's placed sixth, with the Red Knights' Taylor Williams winning the 100 and 200 freestyle races. Titles were on the line at the state adapted soccer tournament. In the CI division, Park Center was unbeaten throughout the regular season. The Pirates lost their semifinal game at state, so they played for third place, where they met the Chaska-Chanhassen Prior Lake Shakopee co-op team. First half of this one, Mohamed Kona passes to Alfred Kona, and he blasts a shot in, and the Pirates take a 2-0 lead just 2.5 minutes in. Trailing 3-1, Chaska-Chanhassen pulls back to within one. Nathan Castellana ripping that shot into the back of the Park Center net to make it 3-2. They would later tie the score at 3. But Alfred Kona breaks the tie. Some nice moves here by the junior, frees him up for a clear shot. And his goal puts Park Center ahead 4-3 at halftime. Only one goal in the second half, and it's Kona scoring again. He nets all 5 Park Center goals on the day. Pirates win. They take third place. 5-3 is the final. Robbinsdale Hopkins Mound West Tonka came into the state adapted soccer tournament without a loss, but they lost in the semifinals as well. And so the Robins played Rochester for third place in the PI division. Nice pass by the Robins' Marcus Brady to Sam Rolls, and he shoots and scores, tying the score at 1 in the first half. Same score in the second half. Rochester's Matthew Horseman converts on Kirk Peterson's pass. They go ahead of the Robins 2-1. But Robbinsdale comes back. Nice move around the defender by Rolls. And then his left-footed shot is into the net. That ties the score at 2. Under 7 minutes to play, and the Robins win it. It's the sophomore Rolls again. His third goal of the game puts them ahead 3-2. No more scoring the rest of the way, and Robbinsdale Hopkins Mound West Tonka wins 3-2, and they take home the third-place trophy. And that is it for sports. We're back with more news in just a moment.
And finally, a physical education class with a magical Harry Potter twist in Brooklyn Park. The gymnasium at Oxbow Creek Elementary was transformed into Hogwarts School of Scooters. It's part of Oxbow Creek's annual Scooter World program, where students use scooters to navigate an elaborate obstacle course decorated this year in a Harry Potter theme. Along the way, they stop at 12 stations to do different exercises. Teachers say it's a great way for kids to develop a love of physical fitness.
At this early of an age, we're just trying to get the kids excited about movement, and hopefully that'll translate to later in life that they want to keep healthy and they want to keep exercising. And if we can make it fun for them, then they'll just hopefully take that on to later skills in life.
It took about 30 hours for volunteers to set up Scooter World. Students get involved too, as well, by creating artwork around the year's theme. They always do such a cool job out there. It's fun to see what they come up with. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here on Tuesday.